Today, let's discuss why you should begin early to build your child for success. There's a wonderful video on YouTube made by IITians. In a gist, the video shows a certain Sharmaji who, without giving much thought, competes with his neighbor Mishraji to get his son admitted into IIT. Unfortunately, the video has a sad ending because Sharmaji's son does not get admission. Unfortunately, he is condoned by his family and relatives and loses his sense of self-worth. Every parent aspires to get their child admitted into coveted colleges, and very rightly so. And they work towards that end from the time that the child is born. What most parents forget is that every child is unique. The path that Mishraji's son took is very different from the path that Sharmaji's son could have taken towards success. Parents also err when they equate the admission process to Indian coveted universities and colleges versus those abroad. To get an admission to IIT or medicine, the student mostly begins preparing from grade 9 onwards. The preparation demands long hours of study and practice of different kinds of problems so that they are equipped to do well at these joint entrance exams or the NEET. Admission to colleges abroad and even to the great colleges and universities which are there within India, which are not engineering or medical, require more than just good grades. And ideally, the preparations for admissions to these non-engineering, non-medical colleges should begin by grade 9. Elon Musk, at 12 years of age, sold the code of a video game that he had created called Blaster to PC and Office Technology magazine for approximately $500. Greta Thunberg, at age 15, started spending her school days outside the Swedish parliament to call for stronger action on climate change by holding up a sign. Malala Yousafzai, at the age 11, gave her first speech on school closing by Taliban and began making press appearances. Sachin Tendulkar began his preparation for becoming a cricketer at the age of 11. Saina Nehwal began playing badminton at age 8. And yet, even though most parents wish to get their child the best education and have their hopes high on the child having a career trajectory touching the sky, they just don't think that it is necessary to begin early. So what are some of the advantages of beginning early with your child's college admissions? Well, good universities across the world, including India, look beyond just good grades. A strong profile is one that tells your own unique story, and a unique story takes several years to build. Most parents believe that enrolling their kids to badminton along with dance or music class and robotics and coding would do the trick. But that's not how it works. Every child has their strengths and weaknesses, and basis that they also have their likes and dislikes. Forcing a kid to do multiple activities isn't doing much for their profile building. What actually builds it is the connection between what they are doing and what they intend to study at the college level. Unless that connection is clearly demonstrated, those activities stand to a naught in the eyes of the admission officers. It's not uncommon for students with high grades not to be accepted by good universities, for what goes missing is a strong, unique profile. We help build that impressive profile for your child. This requires a strong strategy and planning. The profile should demonstrate the teen's leadership skills and impact that they've made that can't be exhibited by merely showing the time spent working at an NGO, which is what most Indian students do. Of course, this doesn't undermine the importance of good grades, but they are just a fraction of your complete profile. We work with the philosophy of Ikigai when we work with youngsters, which is What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need from you? And what can you do to get paid? Along with that, we identify several more elements to define how to build a compelling profile. Time spent on working towards a specific goal is of serious consequence. We help identify what should that goal be and how can that be congruent with a teen's college aspirations. These questions matter. Vast amount of research has been done on early achievements, and it is captured by the Cambridge Handbook of Expertise and Expert Performance. Researchers say that Mozart wasn't a child prodigy. His early compositions were not acts of genius. He was a good musician at an early age, but he couldn't stand out amongst today's top child performers. What Mozart had was the same thing that extraordinary performers have: the ability to focus for long periods, equivalent to an adult's intent on improving one's skills. He played a lot of piano at a very young age, so he got his 10,000 hours of practice from there. You do not need a divine spark to achieve, but what really matters is the intent to get better and better over time. That's what separates the best from the rest. As the saying goes, the early bird catches the worm.